Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper. And today I want to do a very different video from some of the things that I've done in the past. And I need to throw some disclaimers out here. This is a video that are things that I've pondered, things that I've wondered. They're not necessarily fact. But one of the reasons why I bring it up is I get frustrated with the media and people looking at ADHD as it's something that's really very simple. And they jump to conclusions based off of data, and things can really be much more complex than they are. And today what I'd like to talk to you about is something that my goal is to get you to think. I don't need to be right. I don't have to be right. But it might intrigue you by thinking about this. Over the years in doing interviews on Attention Talk Radio, I've come to understand that nicotine actually helps those with ADHD focus, actually other people for that matter. And it's actually being experimented around with in different academic environments as an alternative to stimulant medications. Because it can help people focus on what's going on much the way a stimulant would. The challenge of using nicotine or nicotine patch is what they call titrating. It's kind of getting time release. That's not really an accurate term, but just to kind of put it into a context, is it's really dealing with the medications to get it work over a constant period of time, etc. We don't really need to go into that. But the point of today is, as I've learned about this, I've actually talked to some of the more knowledgeable people on ADHD on the forefront of research, and I've often wondered and asked them, I said, you know, ADHD diagnosis is on the rise. I wonder why that is. The media and other people would have you believe that we're over-medicating people, and there's a bunch of other reasons. And I'm not here to say that's right or wrong, but what's been fascinating to me is when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, everybody smoked. I mean, everybody smoked. And over the years, the rate or the number of people as part of the population has decreased. And it's been curious to me that the ADHD diagnosis rate has gone up. Now, I have no research on this. I have no factual information on this, but if in fact those with ADHD back in the 60s, 70s smoked, number one, they have the addictive nature and the buzz, if you will, that you get from the nicotine. But it's interesting, it's curious. There's a secondary reinforcement to smoke, and that is higher performance at work or at school when you're smoking because of the ability to concentrate. So on one hand, you have the positive reinforcement or the addictive part of the nicotine, but then you have the social reinforcement of the better performance at work and school. And I've also wondered back then if those with ADHD were self-medicating as a result of it. In other words, you didn't really need the diagnosis if you were smoking. Really, the cigarettes and the nicotine were what you needed in order to perform. Now, again, I want to throw my disclaimer out here. I don't have research on this. I've only had this hypothesis with some of the foremost experts in the world, and they've confirmed that there is no research. But it is kind of curious to hear how they react because it is kind of interesting. And here's the thing. Let's say hypothetically it's plausible. We can begin to understand the complexities of, if you will, of just looking at diagnosis rates. Because are the incidence of ADHD increasing, or are the diagnoses actually catching up to that number, in this case, hypothetically, if people were self-medicating with nicotine? Again, I just find this kind of fascinating, and I throw this out there as an intellectual conversation to have you think about it and realize there's a lot of complexities that could potentially have an impact on the statistics that you read out there. I hope I've made you think. I hope you found this really kind of insightful. Again, this is a different video from what I normally do, but it's I hope you found it fascinating. We do release a video each week related to ADHD on insights and tips, and we encourage you to subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscription button below. Also, I'd be interested in your thoughts and comments. If you read this video and you're so moved, please do so. It helps me understand more what you guys are looking for and gives me thoughts and ideas. To learn more about me, go to my website at digcoaching.com. And with that, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care.